Hello, community. Let's talk about a fascinating topic, time to market, if you want to strategically position your YouTube channel in a competitive marketplace. We are operating here on the sector or an example of computer science because this is where I'm working and I have a little bit of an experience, and I would like to share my insights and my thoughts with you. This is where we left off in the last video I showed you, and we were talking about the strategic positioning if we are one of 1,000 YouTuber with the topic of computer science or artificial intelligence here in this area. And we said, okay, we have course providers, MOOCs like Coursera with more than 4,000 university courses, Stanford like a representative of the university and the colleges in the US and globally. We took Stanford, they have Stanford Online, they have a own YouTube channel. All their course providers have also open YouTube channels, but of course they want to lure you over behind the paywall that you pay for their, let's say, Coursera courses. Now, Stanford only have for executive programs, or if you go there, their Stanford channel behind paywalls, but they also have free YouTube channels. And then we looked at the hardware providers, NVIDIA, Google, AWS, and so on. And we found that, for example, Google Cloud Technology has an own YouTube channel. They have their corporate campuses, their own corporate universities, where, of course, they have their learning content in videos. And you can have, for example, an AWS Now certificate if you take their courses, if you pay for this qualification. And then we looked at the example of Databricks, where they become a unified analytics engine for businesses, so a business intelligence engine. They have their own Databricks YouTube channels and they have their own Databricks channels behind paywalls and so on. They have their own technology implementation teams if you're a client somewhere in the industry and you want to move from your old database structure to the new data engine structure. They have their own open source development with PySpark or Spark within the Apache ecosystem. Based on Python, it's called PySpark. And for what we called the old database structure in the 1990s, now we have Delta Lake and Delta sharing, complete different system, open system. And think about all the market, and there's of course the petabyte application market. And in a later topic, we will look about the AI medicine, AI productivity, AI in marketing, brand marketing, AI in human resources, every opportunities we have, but this will be in a later time. And today we're gonna focus on, my God, I lost it. We're gonna focus on YouTube. Now, I told you last time that Mark was moving PyTorch to a kind of an open source development where, of course, the business stays with Meta. And I told you, what about Google? Now, Google is an interesting thing, an interesting player, I think, because you are working on YouTube, so on a Google platform. And they, of course, have, for example, TensorFlow 2, this beautiful Keras API I told you about in my other videos. So what about, and there's a lot of rumor about splitting YouTube and some corporate YouTube channel and some public YouTube channels where you have the infotainment system, like unpacking of an iPhone. If you look at the community, I don't know how many hundreds channels I've seen. Hey, unpacking the new iPhone 14, beautiful, yes, yes, yes. But the question is, if you think about your course provider, about the educational system, what about the corporate YouTube? What about the development path if you're a YouTuber? Where are you? Where should you position yourself in this whole ecosystem that is going on? So let's think a second about Google, because you are working on a Google infrastructure. Now, YouTube or Google has text transcripts from all available videos on YouTube because you can easily see them if you click for some language translation in the captions, for example. So all text in the videos, every language is available. And you know what AI systems need? They need a lot of amount of training data. And you have to learn an extreme huge amount of text data, semantically structured context text data. Think about it as in the idea of a knowledge graph, for example. Now, with YouTube, Google has enough training data for some new artificial intelligence system And think about it. Google owns the software, like so for example, is active in the development of TensorFlow, have beautiful hardware. Think about the TPU parts, the development you have seen there. And of course, in the AI model knowledge development for the, let's call it the next step. So interesting that you as a YouTuber are now part of a system where the system provider has all of these capabilities. Now let's think on. You can ask yourself, hey, if I'm new to the business or if I'm part of this business, which content do you want or should strategically provide to YouTube? You might think this is a philosophical question, but hear me out. What kind of videos would provide a higher strategic value to Google? And notice that I say not to your audience, but to Google as the platform provider, given that this scenario might be a path forward for Google itself. So more or less that is the question, what kind of company would you like to be in the close environment of Google YouTube and of Google itself? We'll give you some answers or some thoughts of mine in the new video on market opportunities, but let's stay focused for the moment. And let's think about it in another way. How is new content created? Where does it come from? And where will it go to? Now, easy. You say, hey, of course, university. No, you have Stanford University and Berkeley and whosoever, MIT. You have your PhD students there and you can, hey, yes, this is the workforce now. And they have publication and you have over the archive preprint servers. They publish, I don't know, daily, I don't know, 100 or thousands publications or preprints regarding computer science, artificial intelligence, new algorithms whatsoever. So you have an endless source of new information, of new models, of new ideas that are emerging. And you say, hey, great. So let's say about time to market. This is more or less the title of our video. So, hey, we should have some reference to this. So whatever the new bubble is, and let's really say it's a bubble, and of course, yeah, you have GitHub as a beautiful repository where you have all the code sequences, so you can immediately take the code from the PhD students or from PhDs who developed it at the university. And you have now an interesting aspect, I think. If you think about a course provider, imagine you are Coursera. How long does it take you to generate a new course on some new topics, on some new technology? I have a guess it takes you about a year, roughly estimation. It takes a year to understand this new technology, choose the specific persons you want to present them, have the in-depth knowledge about this new technology, but at least takes you some weeks to play around with the system to really get some insight if you're not the creator of the system. Let's say after 1 year, the course provider can officially provide a beautiful structured course, didactic, beautifully structured, to their audience. Now, contrary, you as a YouTuber, and I'm thinking here about me, when we had Stable Diffusion suddenly emerging in summer of 2022. And within a week, less than a week, you saw the first YouTuber presenting you the software, the first aspects, and after a week, wow, I remember I was looking at 37 YouTube videos from other YouTubers on the implementation of Stable Diffusion on different platforms. So interesting that if something emerges, if something comes up, you are in a really good position for the distribution of new knowledge in your specific area, if you think about computer science or AI, where I have a little bit of a knowledge. And I thought about this and I said, hey, great. But then the problem was I thought about it. So you know what? I have no market with my YouTube channel. And this is an insight that really hurts me, because think about, where's the market? You have Stanford University, where the parents of the future PhDs, they pay heavily for Stanford University. You have all your open course providers, and now they have quite some elaborated pay schemes, so you pay them. Then, of course, you have here the industry side with NVIDIA and Google. I don't have to tell you that you have to pay NVIDIA for the infrastructure. And of course, with Databricks, although they are very generous with Insight and providing you some free cloud access, of course, you have to pay for them and you have to be one of their clients to really unlock the full potential of the ecosystem. So maybe you noticed that everywhere on this slide you have money involved, with one exception: me. I'm one of 1,000 YouTubers, and I personally fail to make money. And you know the reason why? Because I thought I have a market, and suddenly I realized I have no market. Because the information you provide, I should say, information I provide, is not structured as a product at all. So this was a downside of this slide, but okay, let's go on. I thought further about it, and there's so many beautiful things, and my colleagues told me, hey, look at Google, there's this unwrapping of a new iPhone. This is so funny, you know, and you have these beautiful persons there in these beautiful apartments with their beautiful tech background, with their beautiful lighting, and with their beautiful I don't know what. And then they just open the box where the new iPhone 14 is, and you have 5 million views. Why can't you do this? I have to tell you, it hurts. It really hurts. But the insight in this, the business model here for YouTube as an entertainment model, hey, beautiful. It works. It's gorgeous. This is, I think, where the term influencer, beautiful. A new diet, yes, beautiful. A new fashion, yes, beautiful. But if you think about going on with your YouTube channel in computer science or artificial intelligence in a kind of a business model that is focused on educational aspects, on information diffusion, I'm doing it all wrong. Because this model does not work here. And my main insight was, I have no market as a YouTuber, and I better position myself in a different way. Otherwise, I will lose here completely what I thought that I can establish. So this is it. Now you say, hey, wait a second. Did I miss something? And do you know the answer? Well, yes, I did miss something. But this is it for today. This is the video titled Time to Market. Showed you how to position your YouTube channel, or the bad experience I have with my YouTube channel if you're working in the area of computer science. And time to market can be something beautiful that you have, but you have to have a market. And as I showed you on my example, I don't have a market. I have not found a market yet. But I think more about this in my next video. And you know, I have to keep the tension up that maybe you subscribe to my channel. And my next video will be on the workforce view. And maybe we discover something that I missed up until now. I hope you enjoyed this video. I see you in the next one.